Hello, guys. It's your girl Afia, and you're tuned in to Catch the Waves with Afia here at Foritech Online TV. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please make sure that you do. And also, don't forget to click on the notification button so that you never miss out on any content that we post. And also, please take note that Foritech Online TV is proudly sponsored. So, as you guys know, I have been promising you that for the rest of the year, each and every month, I'll be here to give you guys mental health related issues. Every month, we know that there are mental health issues that I usually recognize. So in this month of April, we also have those. So this month we have a lot of other mental health issues, and now we are actually going to be talking about alcohol awareness. So April is also Alcohol Awareness Month. And on the line, we have our psychological counselor. Welcome once again, Imana. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you all doing in studio?
So good. Thank you once again for honoring our invitation to our subscribers out there, to our viewers, to our listeners. This is Imana Melanie Fonseca. She is all the way in Eswatini. She is a psychological counselor. So she is the one who has offered volunteered her time to always join me so that we can discuss these mental health issues. And if you guys remember on our last program about autism awareness, she actually did say she is also a mental health advocate. So you guys just know that she is always going to be here to help us talk about those things and broaden our knowledge about them. I welcome Imana once again. Please, let our viewers, our family out there know what today we are all about.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. And today we will be tackling alcohol awareness. So
Yeah,
we have alcohol awareness in the month of April.
April, yes. So, if you would tell
Yeah.
us what really is alcohol awareness, what is it all about?
Okay, alcohol awareness is more of public information about the use and abuse of alcohol. So you
Okay.
can put alcoholism and binge drinking. So all those are just under alcohol awareness, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
What? Oh, thank you so much. So, you guys, as you know, she has just told us that in the alcohol awareness, we are going to actually look at alcoholism and binge drinking. Can you just, fasha fasha as what is alcoholism and binge drinking?
And it just explains itself. Honestly, there's not much. There's not much to explain. But alcoholism is when someone gets to the point of having an intake of alcohol that they can no longer control, or they tend to abuse their alcohol intake. And
Mm-hmm.
then when we come to binge drinking, it's just drinking um, alcohol and drinking your alcoholic beverages like one after the other, always at the same time, all the time. So it's just like how there's binge watching a series,
Yeah,
just to
yeah,
make
yeah.
it plain and clear. You binge drink your alcohol.
Yeah.
Yes, that's just what it is.
So, what is it so important for us to actually recognize alcohol awareness? Like, why? What's the importance of it?
Okay, so it's important to be aware of this alcoholism and binge
Drinking. Mm-hmm.
drinking. So yeah, so that we know as much information about it. That's what awareness is all about, to get information about all of these things.
Mm-hmm.
And also so that we can know how much it impacts our lives, and
Yes,
how much
yes,
it
yes,
is
yes, yes.
an issue, how it becomes an issue to our mental health or our mental state. So and also to know the ways of preventing all of this from happening. So that's why we then tend to have the alcohol awareness.
We know that all these alcoholism and binge drinking are actually a result of, or are they, what do you call it? Let's just put it under one umbrella, alcohol abuse. Isn't it? Because
Mm-hmm.
at this point, we know that alcohol abuse is, I think it's even the second most common form of substance abuse in not only in America, but I think even
Yeah.
now here in Africa, especially, I'm not sure if South Africa, but yeah, yeah. So I know that an individual's drinking can causes distress and harm, and things like that. And I believe that that's when
Mm-hmm.
you psychologists now come to see that no, now it is a problem. So I want to ask, when does drinking become a problem to a person? When can you now tell that no, this person's drinking is now abuse?
Okay. You can tell when it starts to affect their daily living,
Mm-hmm.
their daily functioning, their health, could be their emotional health, their social life,
Yeah.
their mental health. So that's when you can tell that now this person is actually abusing their alcohol intake. They've become an alcoholic, or they've become an addict to the
Yes.
alcohol that they're taking, or they're starting to binge drink and all of that. So you get to see it, unfortunately, from their lives. And also, like, there are symptoms of this alcoholism and, alcohol abuse.
Yeah.
You can only take so much as a person, but then we then tend to see it. I had teachers in, sorry, but I had teachers in high school who would actually come into the classroom drunk, and you would
Wow.
actually see it. Could it have been alcoholism? I think so. Now that I know, I
Mm-hmm.
think so, because out of maybe 5 days of the week, they come to show up to class 3 days a week, just the same way, in these
Mm.
symptoms that I'm going to mention.
Yeah, yeah. Obviously.
Yes. You'd find someone's got poor coordination. Their coordination, it could be seen in their walking, the
Mm-hmm.
way they walk, even the way they speak.
They
Those are
speak.
not just coming out normal. You
Mm-hmm.
can tell that there's some poor coordination going on, and
Mm-hmm.
impaired thinking as well. You can tell it from the way someone is going to respond, that no, this person has impaired thinking. And also, like, your slurred speech, the normal things
The
that we get
normal,
to
yeah,
see.
yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
now, obviously, in your line of work, as you assess a person, you know, what are usually the most common reasons why the alcoholics give, like, the reason for them to be drinking so much? Um, what is the
hmm
most common reason they abuse alcohol?
Okay, the most common reason is I am trying to cope
Yeah,
with what is happening around me.
more like it's
So
my
a lot of
coping
people use it.
mechanism.
Mechanism, yes, and some people use it like to self-medicate,
Kate. Mm-hmm.
instead of getting the proper help that they need, and
Mm-hmm.
they tend to then go into drinking,
Mm.
into drugs and all that. So it's alcohol. So then they'll start self-medicating through alcohol. For example, someone has just lost a case where someone has just lost their family member who
Mm.
maybe they were so close to,
Close to,
and
yeah.
cannot sleep, cannot just go on, feel like they cannot, they turn to self-medicate through alcohol and through drinking. So that's the most common reason. And then the other one is influence. It could have been peer pressure,
Yeah.
influence from family, and
Yeah.
someone then is unable to control themselves, and then it ends up being an alcoholic, ends up being a binge drinker. So those two are the most common.
You mentioned peer pressure, and I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
my people out there could probably also attest to this. I have realized that even social media has been very influential in the way that
Mm-hmm.
we people drink. It's how I see it, because you
Okay.
know
Yeah.
how it is mostly celebrated. People, going outing, they should be bottled. And if now I want to talk also for the youth. The youth now, you get on social media, on Instagram and all those people, fun, for you to have fun nowadays is that they should be alcohol.
It's a drink.
Yeah, they should be a
Mm-hmm.
drink. So
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to edit that with what you said, the peer pressure. Because at times
Yeah.
some people, you may find that they'll say, I never thought I'd ever drink. Then, wow, the way that I could see it on TV, the way it is portrayed, it has now maybe led a person to indulge in such and end up abusing that substance. And these days, see people drinking. There's all these drinks. What is it? Cough syrup mixed and all those things. Can you actually just
Wow.
touch a bit? I don't know. You know of it, isn't it?
I've
Co-
actually seen when I
codeine.
was in
Yeah,
when I was in university, I
exactly.
saw that happening a lot.
So all those, I just want you to hint on the dangers of such substances, because these days people just mix. And I also want you to analyze for us maybe a bit, because at times they say moderate drinking is okay. There are benefits of moderate
Mm-hmm.
drinking. So which one is actually moderate drinking?
Okay. Disclaimer: I
Yeah.
am not a doctor.
Yes, yes.
Nor
Disclaimer.
am I a dietitian.
Vision, yes,
Yes,
yes, yeah.
nor am I a dietitian. But what I've heard is a person is entitled to one or two glasses of beer. So it's just there's quantities according to what you're drinking: wine,
Yes,
or beer,
yes, yes,
cider,
yes.
or whatever that is. And I really, because I do not think I am well versed in that. So
Verse.
I've asked people to maybe research on that one. But I know that a glass of wine,
Mm-hmm.
red wine, helps with your digestion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that is obviously not considered as alcoholism or
Yes.
all of that. I feel like as long as it's not getting in the way of your functioning of your day-to-day tasks and your mental
Yes.
health, your emotional state,
Mm-hmm.
your social life, your all
Mm-hmm.
of that, I think then it's okay. But as soon as it starts to be
An
messed
issue.
up with
Mm-hmm.
your day-to-day function, yes, and becomes an issue and is impacting your social life in a negative way, your emotions in a negative way,
Mm.
then you are most likely abusing alcohol, you are most likely binge drinking, and you just don't know it because the way it's like you mentioned it that in this day, the only way to have fun is to have the alcohol involved, is
Mm.
to have the drinking of alcohol involved.
Yeah.
We don't realize that we are actually causing worse effects on our life. And not only does it affect your day-to-day functioning, but your health
Yeah.
in general, your physical health.
Mm.
Because, like for example, people that make cough syrup and what I don't want to mention because I really don't want people to then want to try it. But they try to make their own alcohol or
Yes.
however. So, how do you know that's what your body needs at the
Mm.
time it needs it?
Mm.
Really, like you could get an overdose from that because your body doesn't need cough syrup in you. at that
At that
moment, it could just
moment.
go the wrong way. Yeah, it could just go the wrong way. It could You could have a stroke just from that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you can even your high blood pressure can just shoot
Shoot
up. Your
up,
blood pressure can just
yeah.
shoot up because of all that. So it affects almost everything: physical impact, social life, your emotional, and all that. And a lot of
Also
times,
mentally.
yes, and with the mental aspect of things, in our age, in this day and age, alcohol abuse, there's a strong correlation between alcohol abuse and suicidal thoughts.
Yes,
So what that
yes.
just means is, you know, people who abuse alcohol tend to have more suicidal thoughts compared to those who don't
Who-
really abuse the alcohol.
Hmm.
So
Wow. This,
mentally, it should be saying something.
I hope everyone who'll be watching this actually got that, because this is the reason why we need to embrace, we need to talk about all those things. Right now, if you probably just decided, okay, you probably skipped the whole introduction, and as we started, we are still on alcohol awareness. So this is all about alcohol awareness, and people out there, as you have heard our psychological counselor right now, she just mentioned that um, alcohol, the abuse of alcohol really leads to mostly suicidal thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So
Yeah.
these are the things that, you know, at times we just tend to turn a blind eye on, because these things are not spoken about. I know that I always say this, that we need to really educate ourselves. We really need to educate our peers. We really need to educate our neighbors. You know, we know that drinking alcohol now is a lifestyle. You know, it's a
Mm-hmm.
lifestyle, and but then we should also know that that kind of lifestyle can lead us to premature death. We see all
True.
alcohol abuse on the roads, accidents happen. You know, mentally a person
Mm-hmm.
will now not be stable. In the homes, it breaks homes, it breaks marriages,
Families,
yeah, it
yeah.
breaks families. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad that, you know, we have a psychological counselor right now who's able to educate us on those things. You know, Melanie, before we, you know, our time even runs, you know, and I know that you also have other things to attend to. I just want us to get to how to get help if you're an alcoholic. How can one get help if one is an alcoholic?
Okay. The best thing to do is just go to a rehab. That is the safest place you can get the assistance that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Because chances are, when you try it on your own, chances
Mm,
are it's 50-50. It could work out and it might not work
not
out
work
because
out.
in and in the whole wanting to like stop or stop drinking alcohol or stop being an alcoholic, you may relapse. So the best thing is to just to your nearest rehabilitation center,
Mm-hmm.
if there is any, or book with a psychologist who is well versed in this area. Because as psychologists, you know, we I think I'm not sure if this is a secret about psychologists, but not every psychologist sees certain patients. I might prefer seeing patients who are abuse victims and not drug addicts
Oh,
or alcoholics. So
yes.
find a psychologist who deals with um, alcohol addicts, alcoholics,
But
and people who have.
you know, when you say find yourself a rehab and things like that, I have realized that it's really even hard for a person to admit that they're alcoholics. I know
Yeah.
of a friend of a friend. You know, if now he hasn't drank, he will literally shake,
Mm-hmm.
like shake. up until he probably
Okay.
has that drink. Once that's two sips, 2, 3, 4 sips, trust me, the shaking will decrease and even like be proper, like all gone. And then when you're like, I know
Mm-hmm.
you, I think like it's like his body is now so dependent on the alcohol, but
On the
he,
alcohol.
we even feel like, no, this person is probably even in denial that this is now a problem, this is an issue. How do you even try to help a person like that?
Just be straightforward with them that you need to get help
Mm,
because you can't help somebody who doesn't want to help
help them,
themselves.
yeah.
Honestly, the end result of that is not going to be a good one compared to when someone just wants to get help.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about in accepting and realizing that I need to get help. No matter
Mm,
how much people can actually tell you that you need to get help, if it's not intrinsic, if the motivation is not from within you to get the help you need, then
yeah,
chances are you might just live as an alcoholic and let your body adapt to the alcohol. Because I've heard of and I've seen so many people who cannot function without alcohol. It's
yeah.
become their norm. It's become a normal thing for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always best to realize that I need help at an earlier stage before you get to the point where your body is dependent on the alcohol.
But don't you think
Yeah.
also maybe the reason why um, we, especially we people of color, are scared of all
Mm-hmm.
these rehabilitation centers? It's like we think that if maybe I go to a rehab, people will now look at me differently. Don't you think that's maybe the reason why some of us may be like, no, I'm okay just as I am. I have maybe this thing of what will people say?
Yeah, it definitely is because there is stigma out there. I
Yeah.
remember in our first session we about the
Yeah.
stigma of mental health. So it's not only in mental health, but there's stigma in a lot of things.
Mm,
So with this, it's just for us to push through that stigma and fight our way forward. I
mm-hmm.
mean, you've got to do what is going to help you at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So now, if I
Yeah.
come, I don't know if this is even appropriate for me to be asking. And now, if I come to
Okay.
you and say, doctor or ma'am, I think I have
Mm-hmm.
an issue with this. If I say that, does it and say no? I think I have been abusing alcohol too much. I don't know if now I'm an alcoholic. So what are the steps? Do I go
Mm-hmm.
through an evaluation with my therapist to actually see if really the issue is that I am an alcoholic or I'm suffering from alcoholism? And then maybe
Of course.
you
Of
okay, or maybe if I come and say no, I think I'm an alcoholic, then you're like, yeah, you're an alcoholic if you've admitted it.
Yeah. Okay. Of course, there's going to be an assessment of
Mm-hmm.
some sort to get to the bottom of why do you feel like you're an alcoholic and
Mm-hmm.
why are you saying you're an alcoholic? All of that, just so that I, as the psychological counselor and the psychologist, get to have a clear picture. So, of course, there's going to be an assessment done and an
Mm.
evaluation. And
Okay.
then from there, we can take it from there because there might be other reasons why you
Why?
have come. Yes, why you think you are an alcoholic, you have
Mm-hmm.
been drinking and all that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
an assessment will be done.
I know that they say, through all this when a person goes to rehabilitation, there are a lot of things that also happen, withdrawal symptoms and all the. How do
Mm-hmm.
people actually? How do you guys help now the patients going through all those withdrawals? Because I know that also even people who abuse drugs or who take drugs, with now they go to rehab,
Mm-hmm.
and all those assessments, they do go through withdrawals, and some people when once that withdrawals at times start occurring, they go back.
Yes,
they go
they
back
do.
to abusing
They
alcohol, or to
relapse.
abusing
Mm-hmm.
the substance, because they will be feeling like, no, I need it. I think I've seen so
Mm-hmm.
many programs, showing all those kind of things. During that time, what is really happening to myself, or to my body, to my brain?
Um, because your body is used to taking in all the alcohol and taking in, okay, the alcohol, let me end
Mm-hmm.
there.
Yeah.
And now it's not getting what it's used to, it's obviously going to react.
Mm.
So that's when you go through the withdrawal, maybe the shivering, or however it is, people are going to react. It could be vomiting, throwing up,
Yeah.
unable to eat or sleep, being hysterical, being anxious, and all that. That is totally normal because your body is not getting what normally gets, the
Mm.
alcohol.
Mm. Mm.
Exactly.
Mm.
So within the process in rehabilitation, psychologists come in with their psychotherapy, and it's during that time of therapy that you can work out those feelings and maybe the thoughts that even come during that time you are having a withdrawal and all of that. But honestly, there's nothing we can help besides the psychotherapy part of things to try and
Mm-hmm.
give you coping mechanisms of how you can cope whilst in the withdrawal stage, or what it is you can do whilst in the withdrawal stage. Yeah,
Mm,
that's
mm,
it.
mm,
Otherwise,
mm.
a person has to really be strong when they say, I need to give up drinking. I need to give up
Mm,
even the smoking or the drugs or something. It's just
yeah,
a personal, it's more personal. Yeah.
personal decision. That's the reason why we even need counselors, therapists, and psychologists, for all these things, because
Yeah.
it's really not easy. And this coming from you, who is actually in that field, shows that it means we also as people need to try, to educate more, to educate ourselves about
More.
these
Yeah.
things. Because if you have a relative who's actually going through such, and you want to help them, they really need your support. The support. Let's now talk about the support. Supporting
Exactly.
a person who's going through such, who's an alcoholic. What support do we
Mm-hmm.
need to give to a person who's an alcoholic, so that they don't also feel like, they judged, they're being judged? Ways of how we can help,
Yeah.
a person. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you for mentioning judged. Like, be less judgmental,
Yeah.
honestly. Be less judgmental and put down the question as, why did you start in the first place? Why weren't you
Mm-hmm.
listening when we said stop? So let's try not to blame people whilst we're still trying to, let's just be supportive and just be
Mm.
acknowledging that you're actually doing a great thing and you will make it. You know, those kind of words can take a person so far,
So
so
far.
further. We don't even imagine, we don't even understand how far it can take a person. That's those words of encouragement. That's
Mm-hmm.
all they need. Like, it's
Yeah.
not much.
Yeah,
It's
it's not.
really not much.
Mm-hmm.
And to just, yeah, and to just also monitor and remind the person, like to be supportive, remind the person, maybe when if you see that they want to relapse, you just remind them, you've come so far, it's
Mm-hmm.
no use to relapse now. And
Yeah.
words of encouragement, really, they go a long way.
They go a long way. Wow. Thank you so, so, so much, Melanie. I don't know if there's anything that you want to add, but I just wanted to say that to our viewers who will be watching this, please also, I am so glad that Melanie had to, put on a disclaimer. Some of the things that we mentioned, and she said she's not a medical doctor. So whatever that we mention, people should not even use it or substitute it for direct medical advice. Please make sure that you
Yeah,
seek qualified clinician, is that how you say it, or a qualified doctor, because we also touched on things which are not in her field. So on that, guys, a disclaimer:
yeah.
please don't say Foritech chats with Afia said no, and also Dr. Melanie said, no, I can have two. What? No, that was just something that is put out there. That's just something that is out there. Yeah, not
Mhm.
from us, So on that part, those views actually, are something that we just had to grab from the internet, and because we've heard that it's just general. So, Melanie, is there anything that you want to add under the um alcohol awareness thing, anything that you want to tell people other that you feel like we didn't touch, any advice
Oh.
on how maybe we can try to limit ourselves into drinking,
Mhm. With alcohol, it's just being disciplined.
mm-hmm.
It's just being responsible with your alcohol intake. Even when they have these adverts online, on TV,
Ooh,
they say drink responsibly. So,
yeah, drink responsible,
so
guys.
yeah, yes. So that's just what I would say. Just goes down to be disciplined with your drinking. Drink
Mm-hmm.
responsibly. Know why it is that you're drinking, and why and when you should stop. What are your limits? All
Mm-hmm.
these are things to just consider. And it's more of a personal thing than a people thing.
Mm.
Even though, in as much as people come together to drink and all that, it's more personal because at the end of the day, you are the one left with your suicidal thoughts. You are the one who's left probably raped. You are the one who's
Mm.
left probably abused. So it's more
Mm.
of a personal thing. And yeah, I think that's what I can just say as we end. And
As
thank you so much for having me.
Well, it is like I'm always happy for having you. To our viewers out there, something that you guys need to know. Melanie is more like my little sister, if I could put it like that. My little sister, and she just stays. She lives right across my house back in Eswatini, just
Yeah.
right across, So even when she was in high school, I saw her, and so I'm really, really proud. I don't want to lie. I am so, so proud
Thank
of
you.
you. I am so, so proud of you because, at times we need to empower each other. The fact that you take your
Mhm.
time, and like, no, we can do this, we can do this. I'm so glad. And before April ends, guys, before she gets off the line, sometime next week we're going to be talking about stress. So make sure
Yeah.
you just click on your notification button so that you don't miss out. Like these days, there's a lot going on. We are all stressed. We are stressed that it's hot.
Mhm.
We are stressed that there's no money, there's inflation, this and that. So we will actually be talking about stress because it is also Stress Awareness Month this April. Um, Melanie, thank you so, so much. Okay, then.
Thank you for having me.
No
Okay, bye.
problem. Bye. Okay, guys, so that was Imana Melanie Fonseca. And if you have been actually following this episodes for the mental health under Catch with the Waves with Afia, you'll know that she also said that she will not mind if people reach out to her. Her name's I forgot to actually ask her, but on Instagram you can find her Imana Melanie Fonseca. We'll try to also pin it up on the description box so that anybody who thinks that may need help, she said that she is willing to offer. Foritech Online TV has given me and all of us this platform to be able to share our views, share our comments. Let us talk about these things. Let us talk about mental health. Let us educate each others. So from me, your girl Afia, it's a TTF and Tata for now.